The God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountains without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God of heaven, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. So again, Christ's kingdom conquers other kingdoms, and it's the one that stands, and it fills the whole earth. But the last kingdom, it has power to harass the holy people, or God's people, for 3.5 years. Trying to find a verse in Daniel here. Okay, Daniel 7:17. Remember, it mentions the 4 beasts that come out of the sea, which is, again, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. Daniel 7:17. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Okay, and in verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Not just 1,000 years. Then I will know the truth of the 4th beast, which is Rome, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. I forgot the name of that king, but he assassinated, when he came to power, he killed 3 of his predecessors in Roman history. Even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. Again, Daniel 12:7 is talking about there was a person who was able to scatter and try to destroy the saints during that persecution, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints in the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Like Daniel 12:7 says, after that time, that they were not persecuted anymore, they have the kingdom. Verse 23, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall rise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until times, and in dividing of a time. Same thing in Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 12, verse 7. They're persecuted for 3.5 years. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, who is they, the saints, to consume it and destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints in the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So again, it's the saints who take over the world. It's not the final end is not for a one-world dictatorship, and then Christ will come and rescue a few people. That's not the image that's given.
So what do you think the 4th kingdom is?
Is Rome. All Bible scholars agree that the 4th kingdom is Rome, but
what was the 3rd one?
The 3rd one is Greece. All Bible scholars agree that the 4th kingdom is Rome, but then they say, well, and Well, he goes on. He goes on and talks about Daniel how the feet of are in part clay. The Roman kingdom was divided, and they tried to make alliances with marriages. I'll marry your daughter for that. That they tried to make it strong, but they ended up it didn't. The kingdom of Rome fell. It was destroyed as judgment from God, which you'll read about in Revelation. So, another mention of a person raising his hand to heaven and swearing is found in Deuteronomy 22:40, or sorry, 32:40. Deuteronomy 32:40. Reading out of the complete Jewish Bible here again, it says, "For I lift up my hand to heaven and swear, as surely as I am alive forever, if I sharpen my flashing sword and set my hand to judgment, I will render vengeance to my foes and repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood." Again, God does have a bow. People say that he doesn't have a bow, Revelation 6, but he does. "I will make my arrows drunk with blood, my sword will devour flesh, the blood of the slain, the captives, flesh from the wild heads of the enemy." Okay, "Sing out, you nations, about his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. Upon this generation will fall all the blood of righteous Abel and Zechariah that died between the tabernacle," Jesus said. "Make atonement for the land of his people." And I want to remember, whenever they quote something, reference something in the New Testament, they always quote it in its larger context. I want you to read the context about it. I'm going to start in verse 21 in Deuteronomy 32. "They aroused my jealousy with a non-God and provoked me with their vanities. I will arouse their jealousy with a non-people and provoke them with a vile nation. For my anger has been fired up, it burns to the depth of Sheol, covering the earth and its crops, kindling the very roots of the hills." Again, the mountains on fire, devouring the earth and its crops. 23, "I will heap disasters on them, and I will use up all my arrows against them." Again, God has arrows. 24, "Fatigued by hunger, they will be consumed by fever and bitter defeat. I will send upon them the fangs of wild beasts." Again, they were destroyed. A third part of the world was destroyed by wild beasts in Revelation. "And the poison of reptiles crawling in the dust, the tails of snakes." "Outside the sword makes parents childless. Inside there is a panic, as young men and girls alike are slain, sucklings and graybeards together. I considered putting an end to them, erasing their memory from the human race, but I feared the insolence of their enemy, feared that their foes would mistakenly think we ourselves accomplished this. Adonai had nothing to do with it." So God didn't wipe them from off the face of the earth, but it came really close in AD 70. They were scattered for 2,000 years. "They are a nation without common sense, utterly lacking in discernment. If they were wise, they would figure it out and understand their destiny. After all, how can one chase 1,000 and put 2,000 to root, unless their rock sells them to their enemies, unless Adonai hands them over? For our enemies have no rock like our rock, even they can see that. Rather, their vine is from the vine of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are poisonous, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is snake poison and cruel venom of vipers. Isn't this hidden with me, sealed in my storehouses? Vengeance and payback are mine. For the time when their foot slips, for the day of their calamity is coming soon. Their doom is rushing upon them. Yes, Adonai will judge his people, taking pity on his servants, when he sees that their strength is gone, that no one is left slave or free. Then he will ask, where are their gods, the rock in whom they trusted, who ate the fat of their sacrifices, drank the wine of their drink offering? Let him get up and help you, let him protect you. See now that I, yes, I am he, there is no God beside me. I put to death and make alive, I wound and I heal. No one saves anyone from my hand. And then he quotes the verse that they reference in Revelation 10. So Revelation 10:8 says, "And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take and eat it up. It shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth as sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Again, that's why I don't think it's talking about the end of time right here, because they're talking to many, he'll continue on. Thou must prophesy again before many peoples, nations, and tongues and kings. But what does it mean by the little book? Well, this happened in both Jeremiah and Ezekiel. In Jeremiah 15:16. Jeremiah 15:16. Okay, it says, Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart, for I am called by thy name, O Lord God of hosts. Excuse me. In the context to just 1 second here. Tessa, shh. Tessa, shh. In verse 14 it says, I will make you pass together with your enemies into a land you do not know, for my anger has become a blazing fire and will flare up against you. So again, just God's judgment against his people who wouldn't listen. And then also in Ezekiel, it was ended of Ezekiel 2. Okay, okay, let's start in verse 6, Ezekiel. Let's start in verse 1 actually. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up on thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, and I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me even unto this day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God. And they, whether they will hear, whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost well among the scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they are a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear, whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be thou not rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat what I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and it had a roll of a book that was therein. And he spread it out before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mournings and woe. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat thou what thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. And then I did eat, and it was in my mouth as honey and sweetness. So here we go. Again, it's rebellious house of Israel. It's just, so when he had John eat it, he says, just like these old prophets ate it against my people, the same way that's you're prophesying against them, just the same way that Ezekiel and Jeremiah did. So as another pointer that is directed towards the people that rejected him. And that's the end of chapter 10.